Study of a clenched left human fist and its bones. It always looks so easy when a professional pianist's fingers are gliding smoothly across some polished piano keys. Yet, so much dedication and quotidian exercises went into preparing those hands for the task. So, why would we assume that it is any different in drawing or painting? Hence, whenever I find the time, I dedicate it to the study of drawing technique itself. And, wherever possible, I combine it with the visual exploration of some other subject of artistic interest. For me, on and off, that always has been the human form. And why not start with the very wonder of anatomy that serves us patiently in our drawing efforts, the human hand? Now, some say that hands are hard to draw, and there is a lot of truth to it. But hands are a fascinating, expressive, and vital part of artistic anatomy, albeit with a lot of hidden pitfalls. Hence, continuous study of human hands is essential to my personal visual journey. In fact, it is a lifelong endeavor, and it is different for each one of us artists. Also, the more I learn, the more I do realize that I am in the early stages. Forever. And in that very realization do dwell a lot of beauty and a secret key to happiness. I simply do approach drawing with a relaxed sense of humor, but a lot of dedication. Concentration and patience are important for understanding just how the underlying muscular skeletal structures are shaping the outward forms that we do perceive when studying the light that strikes the human body. And that alone is a fun adventure. Especially as our own hands are very accessible anatomical models easily placed in front of us and always ready to become the subject of an observational drawing or a casual sketch. So, when contemplating the subject of human anatomy, there seems to be a great divide between those detractors on one side who deem it unnecessary, even superfluous, and ultimately unworthy of study, and on the other side, the diametrically opposed proponents who consider it quintessential to artistic development and mastery of draftsmanship. Many art colleges will not even offer the option to enroll in a human anatomy class, but at best will provide some life drawing classes instead. The latter not being a substitute for the former, but rather comprising a complementary activity. And while I do appreciate that students of contemporary art might need to prioritize some other subjects of study, I firmly do welcome the idea of choice. For an offered option does resonate far deeper and wider with the fundamental concept of free will. For that reason alone, the study of human anatomy belongs to my key areas of keen interest and artistic attention. When engaging in some form of visual image creation anyway, what damage would it do to allow those with an inquisitive mindset and a desire to do so to simply draw some three-dimensional bone models in perspectival foreshortening? The skeletal design of the human body is a wonder in itself, definitely worth looking at in greater detail. And over time, with observation and practice, we will acquire the ability to draw the human form in parts or its entirety from scratch, simply constructing it mentally and, subsequently, visualizing it on the sheet in front of us. It is a fun process, but first we do need to put the work in. Nothing arrives effortlessly in art. Now, in this particular drawing, I was keen on comprehending a bit more the underlying structures determining shape and functioning of a clenched left human fist. Not necessarily in the exact position as the drawn fist on the left, derived from mere observation, but in an approximation at the very angle that allowed me to best work out or even carve out the osseous details that I wished to highlight. Hence, I set out with a wireframe-like structure of wedges and cuboid boxes, constructing a human hand from scratch. Subsequently, I did inscribe the hand and finger bones into the guiding frames of the mesh model, paying special attention to the carpals and metacarpals as they would anchor all the finger bones in space. The latter, it is the proximal phalanges, intermediate phalanges, and especially the distal phalanges, inevitably would leave me with the dilemma of visualizing their relations in a Cartesian grid. That is to say, the very task of conveying the closed shape of a clenched human fist while simultaneously leaving sufficient empty space for the tissues of flesh, sinews, muscles, blood vessels, nerves, and cartilages that all were absent in my mental model. In other words, I simply did lack crucial data input and had to make do with my limited understanding. But I did enjoy the journey. Let us keep drawing. Much love and peace.